After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves.
Jesus, it's great that we can get to spend time with you, and I'm glad that you picked us because we are the special ones, and those other disciples are a bit dull, really.
You're talking about me, Peter. You just don't get it, do you?
The other ones. See, and it's great that you've invited us, but there are some things that I'm not understanding about this little trip.
That goes with the territory for you, Peter.
I know understanding is not one of my strong points, but for heaven's sake, this is not Christmas, and why are we wearing tea towels? What have you got planned? You're going to do one of your thingies again, and we're going to end up having to do the washing up or something?
Peter. Wearing these... Sorry, this is your line, isn't it? No. We have rehearsed this endlessly. Peter, a time is coming. Verily, I say, a time is coming when you will put your washing up in a box and it will come out clean.
You're amazing, but I don't know how you're going to pull that one off.
No, actually, the tea towels are because we forgot the factor 50.
The factor 50? He's on about the X factor again.
He's got the X factor, but seriously, why a mountain? Why this mountain? Oh, I wonder.
There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light.
Where's all that light coming from?
I am the light of the world. As I illuminate the dark places, the hurting places, stumbling will cease. The glory of God in the midst of the brokenness, our brokenness. My light overcomes each dark place. And it will not stop at this mountain. For when all is fulfilled, my people will shine with Father's glory, so that the world will see and darkness will cease.
So no more candles then?
So, every time you heal somebody, it's like the light flooding in.
You've got it, John. In fact, more than that, when you bring healing in my name, it is my light flooding in, glory revealed, and the power of God advancing. It's another kingdom moment, John.
Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus.
Holy Moses!
I can't hear what they're saying. Peter, can you hear? Why Moses and Elijah? Unless in some sense our history is his story. Somehow it's all coming together with Jesus, don't you think?
Peter said to Jesus,
Lord, it's good for us to be up here, and if you like, I could make tents. I could make one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah.
Peter, you're wonderful.
I am wonderful.
One of these days, you'll stop trying to do things for me and start listening. Maybe you could take some time out to think about my ways and not your ways.
Oh, my way. I did it my way.
But anyway, with God moments like this, you just can't bottle it. Such moments as these are a preparation for our walk together. You can't stay here.
But this is awesome.
We want to
A
stay.
holy moment.
While he was still speaking, a bright cloud covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them.
"Get up," he said. "Don't be afraid. My true nature revealed. But in time, you are to reveal God's glory in our world, utterly secure because you rest in Father's love, and your every action springing from attentiveness to Father and his extraordinary ways."
When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus.
They've gone. They've gone.
As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them.
"Don't tell anyone what you've seen until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead."
Who's the Son of Man? Is that you, Jesus?
But who's going to die? No one's been raised from the dead before. Oh, and just before we get down and see the other ones, don't mention the tent, please. We would have needed more than tea towels, wouldn't we? If I was going to make a real tent, we would have needed tablecloths.
You can't stay here. That's what it's all about. You can't stay here. There are moments in our lives when we have special time with Jesus. In stunning moments. Times when the glory of God is revealed in so many ways. But you can't stay with the moment. Peter longed to just stay there and if you like, fossilise it for that moment, because it was so precious. You can't stay here. There have been special times for Hilary and I over these last 5 years, but we can't stay here. There's been special times for Crowhurst over these last 5 years. But we can't stay here. We've had fun together in the presence of God. But we can't stay here. And for yourselves, maybe there have been God moments when God has broken in and transformed and healed. As I look round, I know that is the story of a whole number of people that I see. You can't stay here. God moments are a launch pad for the future. They're a launch pad into the future. Something to take away that is faith enhancing and supporting, because you can't stay here. Father says to us, as he said to those disciples on the mountain, listen to him. You can't stay here, but you can continue to listen to him. And that is at the heart of Christian faith. The skill, the desire to listen closely to what our God says to us, because it will always be extraordinary and unexpected. It's about a relationship, isn't it? A growing relationship. And in any good relationship, there's a conversation going on. And we're called to be listeners my ways are not your ways, says God. The only way forward with him is to listen to him and the extraordinary directions that he leads us. We can't predict them. We can't bottle them in some way. We can't have them fixed and rigid. And as Hilary and I lead, for us, there's a great chunk of unknown out there. That can be either utterly terrifying or really rather exciting. I prefer to edge towards the, hey, that's really rather exciting. And then we have Peter. Peter's so much like us, isn't he? He loves to do things for Jesus. Tent building for Jesus. That will be fun. And that will fix Jesus in one place and I can control him. That's what Christians tend to do. They want a very controllable God. And that's the absolute antithesis of what the relationship's meant to be like. It's not about tent building, or as we might do it, church building. However good-hearted Peter was, or we are, however much we might mean well, it's not about that. If we go that route, we just get stuck up a mountain. And sooner or later, the wind's going to blow. We're to come down the mountain. And as John 17 says, Jesus Christ gives to his people a number of characteristics to transform the world. No pressure. But the very glory of God is meant to be seen in us individually and together. God visible in our midst. It's not a pious hope. It's a gift of God. A reality. When we're staying close to him and listening to him. The joy of the Lord is also prayed for by Jesus to be a characteristic of our being with him and together down the mountain, not up the mountain. And the unity that is extraordinary between us. Totally unnatural, that's why it slaps people in the face when it happens. They see this motley group of people who shouldn't hang together, but by the grace of God they do. And God is seen. We come down the mountain because we are to be Jesus on earth, the body of Christ, revealing God to a hurting world that needs him desperately.
Well, let's just pause for a moment and consider what God may be saying to us about you can't stay here and what that might mean for us. And when we've paused, we'll then take our offering.